Today is a special day, and it's a special moment for both of you. In this moment, your life is about to change forever. So always remember this day when you were joined together and you became a family right here on this very spot in the middle of nowhere in Utah. This is your spot for the rest of your lives, so come back often and make out. Now, before we get to the I do's, this is the part where I talk about love and stuff, most of which the two of you are going to totally forget. But this is my job, and these people got all dressed up for it and everything, so this is what I'll do. Just keep on holding each other's hands, look each other in the eyes, and freak out internally while I do this for these nice people. The story of Paige and Marclay begins in one of the most romantic places known to man, Winchell's Donuts. Paige was there ordering donuts for her grandparents when she looked up from the glass display case, and there she saw walking in was the most beautiful, handsome, studly hunk of man she had ever seen in her entire life. And standing just a few feet away from that guy was Marclay. Marclay immediately noticed Paige, but didn't want to look like a creep, so instead of staring at her with his mouth open, he just kept on glancing over at her over and over again. She was perhaps the most attractive woman he had ever seen in his life. As she made her way through the line, Marclay debated in his mind what he should do. Should he introduce himself? Should he just hang back and watch the most gorgeous thing he'd ever seen walk out the door? Although he never, ever would normally do this, he decided to break his rule and actually approach a stranger. Because Marclay never did this before, his opening line was a little rusty. Although neither of them remember exactly what was said, it was along the lines of, quote, "Hey, what's up? I can't have gluten." Lucky for Marclay, Paige had a thing for awkward dudes, and they hit it off quite well. The conversation went so well, in fact, that they exchanged phone numbers and decided to go on a date. Their first date was at a place called Via Brazil. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, this is a restaurant where they place a little wooden peg on the table. And when the green side is up, that means bring me food. When the red side is up, it means don't bring me food. Unfortunately, neither one of these people got the memo, so for the first half hour or so, they just sat there staring at each other and wondering why no one would bring them food. Now, for any other first date, this would mean disaster. But for Paige and Marclay, the two of them had an instant connection. The connection was so strong that they stayed there and they talked and talked for 3 full hours. They found each other so very easy to talk to. They could open up and be themselves without any fear of judgment or any pressure to feel fake. The date was such a success that there in the parking lot, with their breath smelling faintly of Brazilian beef, the two of them shared their first kiss. That was quite a few years ago, and although they've had their ups and downs, their time apart and their time back together, one thing never changed. Neither of them could ever deny that they were always undeniably, irrevocably, absolutely head over heels for each other. The two of them simply fit. During their time together, they've traveled all over the place. They've done tons of outdoorsy things with their 4 children, Luna, Lily, Charlie, and Lucy. Lilu, excuse me. Whew, autocorrect. They've built a home full of love, sarcasm, and because he's a firefighter and she works for the hospital, they've spent countless hours making light jokes of the horrible, horrible things they've seen in their jobs. They're so right for each other that one day Marclay took Paige to her favorite place in the world, Disneyland, got down on one knee and asked her to spend the rest of her life with him. She obviously said yes, because here we all are today. So Paige and Marclay, the both of you have already lived through a lot of things already. You both know what marriage is. You've seen people do it right. You've seen people do it wrong. You've seen it in movies and on TV. But when marriage is done right, it is a fantastic, beautiful thing. It is so much fun. I highly recommend it. But only if the two of you prioritize. I will tell you that from this moment forward, nothing in your life is to take priority over the comfort and the well-being of the person that you're holding hands with and low-key freezing to death with right now. Marriage is a relationship of give and take. That being said, it's important that you never take more than you give. Because marriage, if it is done right, then you are both equals and you are partners. Nobody is in charge of the other one, Paige. It's not like one is a boss and the other one has to do whatever you say. Paige! Excuse me. It's flowers. No, you are both equals. You are equal providers of love and support for each other. Marriage is also about communication. When you feel something for the other one, you need to say it. If Marclay looks particularly nice, you should tell him that. When you are proud of Paige, you need to tell her that. If you notice that Marclay did something thoughtful and you appreciate him, you need to tell him that. If you've noticed that Paige has put on a couple of pounds, shut your mouth. Don't say anything. But for everything else, definitely say nice things to each other and make sure that you do it all the time. I wish that I could stand here and tell you that getting married is going to protect you from bad days, but it's not. You're going to have some bad days, and you're going to have good days. You'll have times of joy, you'll have times of sadness, but the good news is from this moment on, you don't have to face any of these things alone. Because today, you've made the decision to always be there for one another, no matter what. You will not always think alike. In fact, you rarely think the same way, but that's what makes each other so interesting. For example, Paige, you've noticed that Marclay has a few habits that get on your nerves. Let's talk about them. For one thing, he is constantly rubbing his own muscles. Now, he says it's because of physical therapy, but sometimes you fear that he's just Gaston and you're his LeFou. His taste in comedy is straight up stupid. As a general rule, if it doesn't have Adam Sandler, he's probably not going to watch it. Similarly, Marclay, you've noticed that Paige is a lovely, talented, beautiful woman who is good at a lot of things. However, safely operating a motor vehicle is not one of those things. She freaks out behind the wheel and curses at little old ladies. She sheds more than the dogs. Not to mention, she is such a hardcore clutterbug that at this point, you don't even remember what color your countertops are under all that junk. You both will do things that will drive each other totally nuts from time to time, and that's okay. It's normal. It's been said that marriage is not the union of two perfect people, but rather it's the joining of two imperfect people who simply refuse to give up on one another. And in the immortal words of St. Paul, John, George, and Ringo, all you need is love. Love is all you need. Now, if you'll permit me to be serious for a moment, I need to tell you that it may not seem like it right now, but the years are going to go by, and they're going to go by a lot faster than you think they are, until one day, in the distant future, you will have a moment where you are without the other, and you will think to yourself, did I make the most of the time that I had? So, before that day arrives, and I hope it's very far in the future, don't let a single day go by without you. Remember every now and then to put down the phone and be in the moment, because I'm telling you right now that every moment that you have in each other's arms is a gift from God. So be grateful for that gift every single day. The two of you finding one another is a beautiful thing. And when you realize that you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. So, that being said, I will now stop making fun of you. And let's get the two of you married. Now, you both have things you would like to say to one another, and you can do that now.
Marclay, I'm truly blessed that our hearts found their way home to one another. Thank you for choosing to stand beside me today to embark on this journey called life. You are everything that I dreamt of when I imagined my fairy tale prince. You are smart, kind, patient, loving, and not to mention incredibly handsome. I love that we can nerd out about medicine together and also have a safe space to reflect on a hard day at work. You bring out the best version of myself and keep me grounded when times are stressful. The best example to explain our bond is through theoretical physics string theory. When metaphorically applied to human relationships, it implies that two people are destined to be together regardless of place, time, or circumstance. It explains that the invisible strings that tie people together can stretch and tangle but never break. I have never felt this more than when we met back up after years of being apart and your hug felt like home. From that moment, I have vowed to make every moment count. I promise to never take you for granted. I promise to listen and to re-listen to all of your stories. I promise to try to be more organized, but I'm going to need your guidance. I vow to put you first and respect your needs. And lastly, I promise that when death does come to take my hand, that I will hold yours in my other and promise to find you in every lifetime. I love you to infinity and beyond.
From the moment our paths crossed at the donut shop, my life is transformed into a beautiful journey. I stand before you as your biggest supporter and ready to make and a vow to cherish and celebrate you every day. I pledge to stand by your side, hand by hand, facing whatever comes our way. I promise to respect you as an individual and your own dreams and aspirations. I will encourage you to chase your own goals and stand by you to pursue your passions. Your happiness is my priority. Above all, I pledge to love you unconditionally, wholeheartedly for the rest of my life. I am grateful for the love that we share, excited for the countless adventures that await us. I seal my promise to you and look forward to a lifetime of love, laughter, and beautiful moments with you. I love you to infinity and beyond.
Paige, do you take Marclay to be your lawfully wedded husband? By making this commitment, you are joining in the lifelong bonds of marriage. Do you promise to honor him in love, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to comfort him in times of difficulty, and to cleave unto him and none else for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Marclay, do you take Paige to be your lawfully wedded wife? By making this commitment, you are joining in the lifelong bonds of marriage. Do you promise to honor and respect her, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to be sensitive to her needs and comfort her in times of difficulty, and to cleave unto her and none else for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Very well. We will now exchange rings. He actually remembered him, so someone's losing money on a bet. All right.
Where's yours? Brett, where's Marclay's?
That was a one at a time thing.
There you go. You put that on her finger first.
I have them.
Now you do the same for him. Now, with your rings in place and your vows made before one another and these witnesses here today, it is my privilege to declare that by the authority vested in me as an ordained minister and also by the legal authority granted me by the great state of Utah, I now pronounce you, Paige and Marclay, married. You are legally and lawfully wedded as husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride!